right, welcome back to another episode of Passion Pod.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. This is a really fun episode, actually, because this is our fan interaction episode. The first of many, because what's great is that we have the call-in number that people can call and leave questions in. So we'll listen to a few of those today. And people can also email in a question. And I think eventually we're going to have some episodes where we can show some fan art that people send in.
That's so great. Yeah.
I had one person emailed about fan art, but she emailed saying that she had it. She didn't send it right in that moment. And I was like, you can send it. And so she'll probably send that along today. But it was Black Dagger Brotherhood fan art.
There's been so many like beautiful Black Dagger Brotherhood art.
And I think she was actually either a founding or signature member who came to set, and she did little portraits of each of the brothers. And so she gave them to the brothers. But I think she took pictures of them for her own sake, and she'll send those pictures in. But they have the physical copies, which I think is really sweet.
Wow.
Yeah. What's really nice is that we have founding and signature members come to these set visits, and they'll even have gifts for us.
I know.
Like either a little goodie bag with like one girl brought a mimosa kit last time, and I was like, thanks, I'll use that this weekend. And then, but they'll also just bring really sweet things. Like one of our founding members, Deb, who I love, she always she'll gift us these tote bags with our initial.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's really
sweet,
beautiful
thoughtful things.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will mail us stuff. I have one in my office. It was this giant thank you card that had some pictures from PassionCon.
Yeah.
And it was like, thanks for all your work at Passion. I think you got one too, and so did you.
I have sand art.
Yes, we have. I have some sand art from Brazil. One of our fans in Brazil sent that to us, along with some other goodies from Brazil, which is really cool. So it's neat. We love when you guys send us stuff. And even if you just email it in, it's fun to see as well. So if you have any fan art that you haven't shared yet, be sure to do so, and we'll feature it. Yeah, tag us. Do hashtag PassionFlix.
This is also fan art.
Yes, that is. Someone crocheted that.
Yeah.
Which is really cool for us. She also crocheted this PassionFlix sign that if people go back into the videos of our PassionFlix Instagram page, Allie's employment video of like welcoming Allie to PassionFlix, you and her are dancing, holding the crocheted sign.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know where that sign
so
is
funny.
now. Was it Mila?
Yes.
It was Mila.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
From Quebec.
Yeah. She's in Canada.
Yeah.
But I think the crocheted sign of PassionFlix is in your office at home now.
Yes. And then I also have somebody else gave us like a license plate PassionFlix.
Oh, yeah.
That's in my office as well. I love it. It's so great.
That.
And we've had like, don't we have like a hand carved wooden case for different wine openers and wine kits?
And the driven box. Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
This is Allie's sand art. And she literally put individual beads, like it's a whole jar full of sand, and she did different colored sands to create this landscape.
Yeah. It's really
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
I think she sent that when I first started working here about 5 years ago. I've
I
taken
got one
it with
too,
me
and
everywhere.
we have
It
a
sits
mini.
in my office still.
We have a mini PassionFlix one as well. That's here somewhere.
I have one. Yeah, it's in my office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode's exciting because we'll listen to some people who left voicemails for us, specifically using the call-in number, which that call-in number again is 770-648-3677. But you can kind of leave a question for us anywhere, like the YouTube comments. I think you can comment on different podcast platforms as well, like Apple Music's added one, and so has Spotify. You can also email us at info@passionflix.com. You can comment on Instagram. We'll try to answer those, anywhere.
And on X.
And on X, anywhere. Yeah. I think even Facebook posts we still do. So you can comment on Facebook as well, and we'll check there.
Facebook.
You think we do Facebook posts now? I'm just making fun. We look at all the comments. That's the important thing.
I know that we do Facebook because I'm a grandma and I'm still on Facebook.
No, I'm teasing you. The takeaway is we look at everything.
Yes,
we look at all of our
everything.
comments and DMs, and yes, you can leave it anywhere.
Yes.
I think YouTube, Instagram, info@passionflix.com and the telephone number are the best
great.
ones to go to. Because those ones we look at literally
daily. We see those daily. Yeah. Yes. No, that's great. So let's test this out.
Okay. Where did you get these questions from? Which one of those places? Just kidding.
Well, so the thing that we're testing out is we tested it briefly in the last episode where we heard two of our voicemail listeners call in. So let's test this out. Joe, would you mind playing one of the voicemails for us?
Hi, my name's Emily, and I'm calling from Roswell, Georgia. And I'm just curious what your favorite book trope is. Like when you go to the bookstore, what is your go-to comfort book? Yeah, just curious. Thanks.
Emily from Waswell, that is a great question.
Yeah, I think I'm an enemies to lovers kind of girl.
You stole mine.
No, it's mine too.
I'm an enemies to lovers. Trope-wise, tropes are really fun. Allie, what would you describe tropes as for people who don't know what tropes and romance novels are?
Not the theme. How do you?
No, I would say kind of like a theme, something that like an identifying factor of the book. Like
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be enemies to lovers or forced proximity or
Surprise pregnancy.
Yep, that's one.
Age gap.
Only one bed. Like
Only one bed.
That's a trope for sure. Two characters will show up at an inn of some kind, or like a B&B, and they have to stay somewhere for the night. But oh no, they're getting there so late that there's only one room left, and the room only has one bed. Is that going to be okay? They're like, oh yeah, sure. Oh, I'll sleep on the floor. Oh, it's a big bed. Just get in the bed, and then the rest is history.
And then what?
And then
what
either they accidentally cuddle during the night, or that's the moment.
They accidentally cuddle.
No, like
It was an accidental cuddle.
That's a trope. That's a new trope.
Exactly.
No,
accidental cuddles.
Accidental cuddling is a real thing where they'll fall asleep. Listen to me. Where they'll fall asleep on the opposite sides of the bed, but then they wake up like totally entwined with each other. That they've like drawn to each other in the night, and they didn't consciously make that choice.
So what you're saying is accidental cuddling is your favorite trope.
No, I mean, I do love that trope. I think it's cute. There was this is a sidetrack, but there was a vampire book that I read as like a YA romance. It was called Hearts at Stake by Alexandra Harvey. And she made the most accurate representation of someone waking up in the embrace of someone that they didn't mean to. And the vampire that she woke up in the arms of had like almost felt like concrete. And she described it as like one of the most uncomfortable positions ever. Cause she's like, I have to pee. He's not letting me go. Like, why am I surrounded by this hulking man? Like, I was just like, it's the funniest description of waking up in a bed with
All
someone.
I can think about is planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh my God, yeah.
When Steve Martin wakes up and he's cuddling with John Candy. That's what I'm thinking of.
No,
Accidental cuddle.
That's exactly what I mean by accidental cuddle. Gosh.
Yeah. I get it. No, you're right. You're right.
But outside of tropes, my favorite genre of romance is probably historical romance. I love like the Regency, the Bridgerton type books. Those are my favorites.
I'd love to make those. Those are great. Yeah. I think mine's probably romantasy.
Oh yes, romantasy is great. Because I remember when I first joined the company, you were super excited for the Wicked series because that was our kind of romantic. I know, those are awesome.
Great. And also Black Dagger Brotherhood. It's like more paranormal, but like this other world stuff is really, it's just very exciting to me.
Yeah, it's super.
It's very sexy.
It is sexy. Allie, what would your favorite genre of romance be?
That's a great question. I'm a little all over the place because you got me a little more into historical because I didn't read a ton of historical before coming here. Same with romantasy. Outside of Twilight, I hadn't really read a lot in the romantasy or paranormal world. I love a good small town. Yeah, good small town romance.
Those are just comforting.
Yeah.
I love them.
And in general, when I'm not reading romance, I read thrillers. So I do like
a suspenseful.
Yes. Romantic
So
suspense.
did you read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe?
No, not yet.
Gilmore.
That's that small town romance thing.
Yeah. I'm going to read it.
Lori Gilmore has created this cast of characters in this town of Dream Harbor. And so each book follows a different couple who runs a different establishment in that town. So it's the Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
That's so
in the
great.
first book. The second book is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I think the third book is the Christmas Tree Farm or something about Christmas trees.
All great
and then
stuff.
her fourth book that just released is the Strawberry Pancake House. Classic. No, it's great.
Love it.
So it's I love that. No, a small town is so comforting. I've recently gotten into also reading like the firefighter romance.
Ooh.
Firefighter, like small, like there was one romance I read where he was a firefighter and she had lost her husband in a fire. And then she and her baby were saved by a fireman. You learn later that it's him. And then, but they meet in a totally different town nearby.
Where there's only one bed
connection. No.
and they have to
They accidentally
snuggle.
cuddle.
Yes, exactly. See, you've already read the book too. Okay. Well, can we take another call, please, Joe? Get me out of this.
Hello, my name is Franciane and I'm from Brazil. I just want to say that I'm so excited for the Black Dagger Brotherhood premieres in June. Thank you.
Thank you.
my
That is
gosh,
so
that's wonderful.
awesome. Thank
love
you very
that.
much. I'm very excited for it too. I actually am like so excited for everyone to see this.
No, I really want to. You mentioned on the last episode that you guys have finalized the music for the title sequence, and I'm dying to listen to it. It's really mean that you haven't showed us yet.
Can we listen to it today?
Yeah,
Sorry. Can we listen to it today?
not like right now, but after this. Could
Oh,
you
yeah,
show it
not
to
on
us
the
after this?
episode.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. There's some perks that come with the job, and that's listening to stuff ahead of time. Maybe that's so mean. But I love that we got that because that call from Brazil, because it's a great example of the fact that people can leave comments too. We love hearing your comments, even if it's just like, hey, by the way, I love this movie.
You know what? Actually, it's incredibly heartwarming. And, you know, we have this office and we have everybody comes to work, and we inside the office are super enthusiastic, and we love what we do. We love what we make. Hearing you guys send messages or say positive things is so inspiring, because it can be so hard. You're just sitting there toiling, like, you know, I'll spend the rest of the day in a dark room looking at color all day for 8 hours. And so hearing that you guys are excited about it really is inspiring to me. It's very exciting. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Joe, our next call, please.
Sherry Ladd. I'm calling from South Carolina. I have a few questions. The first one is, where can I go to apply to be an extra in one of your movies? The next one is, can you please post an updated list of the books that you have optioned on the website or Facebook page? And then also, can you give us an update on what films that you'll be working on this year? Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. Yeah, lots of questions. I
feel like that was like a board meeting. I need to.
Well, the first question.
Here's my full cast. Here's the plan. Here's the entire production schedule. It's going to be great.
But so the first part of that question that she asked, how to become an extra in one of our movies, we do offer the signature membership that you can subscribe for 1 year as a signature member. The subscription price gets you a 1 year subscription, as well as invitations to all of the sets and premieres. And that's a great way to get on set, and you can meet other Passionistas as well. Yeah. And sometimes we'll use you in the back of a scene, which is cool.
Like if you want to.
If you want to, yeah. No one is forced to go on the screen if they don't want to be, but the invitation is there depending on the scene.
Yeah. But it is kind of fun, though, when you see signature members or founding members in scenes with the actors, and they're there, you know, eating dinner behind, you know.
Yep.
It's Gabriel or something.
They'll try to find themselves too when the movie comes out. They'll be like, "Oh, I can see myself really briefly on screen." Yeah. It's fun. I love that. Fun.
I also love it when they come to set, because, you know, signature members and founding members, they just know so much about the books, and so it's just, again, it's one of those moments where you just are. It's the enthusiasm of the fan of the work. That's
well, and they get to watch what's filming that day. So you get to you step away from your monitor and you go to where they're sitting, and you're like, "Hey, how's it looking?"
They love it.
They love it.
It's really great.
Yep. The actors like it too, because they get that immediate feedback they wouldn't normally get. So
it's fabulous.
Yeah. Although sometimes we have to be like, remember, no reacting in the moment. It's quiet on set, you know. That was great. So that's the first part of the question. The other part was, do we have an updated list of everything we have coming up?
We'll get an updated list out.
We'll post an updated list. I have most of it off the top of my head, but I don't want to miss one in the moment. Exactly. So we'll post an updated list, because it is fun when people can see what we've got.
Yeah. And then I know the next one was a question about what else we're making this year and what's coming up. Right. And we tackled it a little bit within our founding members lounge on Facebook, and obviously you can speak more to it, but I did want to say, because we get a lot of questions on social media, why aren't we getting more updates? And a lot of times we won't share updates until we get closer, because we want to make sure there's so many moving parts with production, and we want to make sure that we have everything really finalized. You know, Beauty from Pain's been in the works for quite some time at this point. And we're already in the casting process, and it's probably the first you're hearing about it over the last couple of weeks, but it's been in the works for a long time, because we want to make sure that we're giving you the most accurate information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we will set a start date, and we're like, our goal is to start shooting on this date. But then we go, oh, well, we actually haven't found our characters. It takes a little bit longer. Let's make sure that we get the right people to play these roles, or the weather, or whatever it is. And there's always something that could delay, doesn't always delay, but could delay the production. And so, you know, I'd love to just list all the movies that we have going on. And we have an entire schedule, and I go in there daily and we adjust dates, and we turn things, we see how we can fit them into the year, and where we're going to film them, and all sorts of things. But, if we announce and then we have to change something, then people get really upset. And so there are so many moving pieces when it comes to actually making a show. And so it could be that we really love this actor for the role. Oh, we want to shoot in April. Unfortunately, he's not available until June. Okay, great. Well, we can push the show. We can push production to June. So now if we'd announced that we were shooting in April, then people will get upset. So we would rather not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But right now we're making Beauty from Pain. Our plan is to make Royally Screwed. We have the first 2 episodes of Black Dagger Brotherhood season 2 written. And there are some others that are in the works, and we have scripts on them. We have the script, the third draft of the script from Brave that we'll send to Jennifer Armentrout. And again, in that situation, I'm glad we didn't announce it, because Anna is pregnant. And so we have to wait until she's able to perform. And so there are a bunch. And then we're also looking at, you know, different places that we can film. So we're looking at England. We were planning on shooting something in England this summer, but we're pushing it to next summer, because we need to shoot something in the summer that's going to be something else in the summer, Royally Screwed, that we can release this December. So anyway, it's very complicated, but yes, we're trying to make as many films as we can. We can really only make a movie every couple of months, which I think is a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah.
And we want to make sure that it's done right.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to, adding on to that, we had some questions, because in a previous podcast, you mentioned that for Black Dagger Brotherhood, it would be really helpful for us if people signed up and subscribed on the first day of release.
Yes,
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because there was questions coming up within the different Facebook groups that we saw, and they were interested in why and how that helps us.
Well, it makes a big difference to us if we know on day one that everybody will subscribe and everybody will watch that show. Then we know we can green light immediately. If everybody's going to wait till the end and they're going to pay $4.99 to watch 6.5 hours worth of content, we won't be able to make the next one. It'll take us much longer to be able to raise the money to make it happen for us to be able to make the second season. The more people can actually subscribe and watch on day one and show us your enthusiasm for this show, the more likely we'll be able to, bring the production of season 2 up.
So, and for people who don't know what green light means, when you say green light, you mean moving forward with season 2.
Yeah, we are going to move forward with season 2. Season 2 is going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's about the speed at which we can make it.
Yes.
So again, the more support we get early on, the more likely we can bring up the production schedule of season 2. Yeah, it really comes down to that. It's like we want to see the enthusiasm on day one. And when we see the enthusiasm on day one, we can pull it forward. If we don't see enthusiasm on day one, then we lose a little bit of momentum, unfortunately.
Yeah. All of the money that comes in from our subscribers goes directly into production.
100%.
Yes.
All of the money that we get in for season 1 goes to season 2. That's correct.
That's awesome. And I think that's really important for people to know, because it really is a matter of if you show up and subscribe in that moment, that's what helps the most.
Yeah.
It's also helpful for you to watch the content if you're already a subscriber.
Yes.
But if you have friends who you want to watch with, tell them about it and have them subscribe too. And you can do watch parties from your different houses.
Yeah.
And I think that's really great.
It also does make, I mean, you'll hear this also on Netflix and Amazon and all of them. They all want to see people watch on day one. Day one makes a difference. It shows enthusiasm. It shows that you really want this. And when we see the enthusiasm on day one, it's the same thing when buying a book, right? So we were all really excited we were all really excited for Onyx Storm to come out. So when it came out, everyone bought it the first week, immediately gets on the bestseller list. So does it matter that you watch it or that you buy it the second week? Of course. And you want to watch it or you want to watch our shows and you want to buy the book the second, third, fourth week. But that first week makes a difference.
Yeah.
And so please watch on the first day that it's released. Please tell your friends. Please have everybody subscribe on day one to watch Black Dagger Brotherhood. It does make a difference. Thank you.
And as a little extra incentive to that, because we're releasing episodes weekly, we are planning to have our PassionPod episodes around that same time be companion episodes. So one episode will talk about episode 1, another episode 2. And so be sure to watch once a week as well. Don't just save it till the end. Subscribe the first day, watch once a week, and then catch up on the PassionPod.
I think another thing thank you, and that's a great idea. I'm looking forward to it. Another thing, and Ellie, you brought this up. There are a lot of people that have not read Dark Lover and Black Dagger Brotherhood season 1. They haven't read the book. And so if you wait until the end, all of the spoilers will be out.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing that you haven't read about. And so watching it, and these are like really intense episodes. They're great. There's so much jam-packed into each episode that watching them one at a time actually helps, because you watch it, you think about it, you live in that world for the week, you're excited about the next one, you get to chat about it with your friends, you get to listen to the podcast where it's a companion piece, and then you go into the next one. Yeah. And I think it creates that feeling of excitement that I miss, from some of the early days of television.
Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed.
And it's fun just chatting with your community and coming up with fan theories and just being able to take it one step at a time and really take that whole episode in and talk with Passionistas. I think it makes such a difference.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got to cover all of that, especially reiterating that we are making things as fast as we can.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can't announce everything right when we're greenlighting it, because we need to make sure everything's in place first. And I think people can understand that for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you,
I
Shay.
think it is something to let people know, and I know a lot of people do know this, but the money that PassionFlix is very small.
Yes.
But all of the money from subscriptions goes into making productions.
Yeah.
So if people subscribe for 1 month and then cancel and then go, where's the next thing? You're like, well, we have to build up the coffers. Unfortunately, that is it. Making films costs money, and if we want to make better and higher budget films, we actually do, and if we want to make them faster, we do need people to continue subscribing and continue supporting. The more people that continue subscribing and continue supporting, the more content we make, the faster we make it.
Yes. No, exactly. It all goes directly into production.
100%.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. And so thank you. Thank you very much for your support.
Everyone who supports us already and everyone who's about to support us, we appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sherry, for that question. That led to a lot of great other stuff we wanted to talk about. So that was wonderful. So for our next call, I've been told this is a surprise caller.
Hey, Passionistas, it's Indigo, your favorite hair and makeup artist from the Black Dagger Brotherhood. And I'm calling because Tosca came up with a beautiful song when she would get stressed during shooting. And I think that everyone deserves to hear it. So, Tosca, would you please give us a rendition of Stress-Free Banana? Love you guys.
Oh, my God.
First of all, I'm obsessed with Indigo. Indigo is the lovely head of makeup for Black Dagger Brotherhood. She also worked on a few other things for us, including Tosca Talks. She's amazing. But I don't know if I've heard this Tosca, so
you
I
haven't?
I have not. Well, because I was on some night shoots with you guys, but I wasn't on every shoot day. So I think I missed the whatever this is.
Oh my God, I'm like, it's been so long. We were singing it. I was driving to set. Maddie McCormick was in the car with me. And I would be, I am a stress-free banana. It's perfect. Where are my starbursts? I always wanted it that way.
Oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. That also makes me think of a fun fact about Tosca is that she survives off starbursts. If she needs like a little energy boost, she has a starburst. She's like, now I can make it through the rest of my day.
Exactly. Now that song's going to be in my head all day. Thanks, Indigo.
Thanks, Indigo.
But it would literally be on set because sometimes like you're shooting something and you're like, you can't get it exactly how you want it in your head. And then they're like, well, what do you think? Is it going to be right? And I was like, yeah, I always wanted it that way. It's great. It's great. It's perfect.
This is incredible. Thank you, Joe. That really was a surprise caller. More people should do that. Surprise us. Call in. Say hi. But I have an email that we got.
Okay.
And I will read that out now. It's from Emily Stemp. Hi, my name is Emily. How do you pick a book to make into a PassionFlix movie? What has to be in the book to make it a hot fire emoji movie? And do you see PassionFlix ever filming in Canada? Love your movies, Emily.
I take it Emily's from Canada.
That's what I would assume too.
Yeah.
So yes,
I'm also Canadian.
Yes, you are. Yeah. So would we ever film in Canada, do you think?
I think if the story requires us to film in Canada, then sure. It's actually can be a little harder to film in Canada. They have a different way of making movies, So they make movies very, very fast. So like in 12 days. And
wow.
I take a little longer to shoot my movies because time makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Love Canada. It's great.
And how do we pick a book to make it into a movie?
That's a good question for you, Lauren.
Yes, it is a good question for me. Well, we pay attention to what people are reading because we try to pick either an author's most popular book or their bestseller, or it's honestly the story that the readers want to see the most on screen. And that could be all of their books as well, because I definitely have authors that I want to see every single book of theirs on screen. But we do try to listen into what a certain author has that people are like, I've visualized this as a movie the whole time. And we have to make sure it's something that can be filmed, because there's definitely some stuff out there that's a little bit harder to put on screen. And we also want to make sure that it's a story that really speaks to us as well as speaks to readers. And that's important as well, because if it speaks to us, it's a good sign that it'll speak to other people, including those who haven't read the book who want to watch the movie.
Yeah. And we also bring our own recommendations in.
We do.
I think we've all sent you books that are now being made into movies.
I think you were the one who recommended Beauty from Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. So yeah, it's a group effort. I know that your assistant Stacia is reading some stuff right now too that she'll mention to me. And yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's definitely a group effort because we're all fans of the romance genre.
Yeah.
So we all read books constantly. I've developed a bit of a bad habit since we moved here to Georgia, in that I will go to one of my favorite local bookstores, and if they have a new romance novel on the shelf, I sometimes I won't even read the back of the book. I will just buy it because I think this would be nice to read at some point. So my library has gotten a bit excessive.
Yeah.
But no,
Lucky
we're constantly. I know. I was like, I can just shop on my shelf. This
great.
should do this more versus spending more money on books. But I just love books, and I love the romance genre in general, and I know we all do. So, what makes us pick a book to turn it into a movie? There's a few factors, but mostly it's we want to tell stories that people want to see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
I think also for us, it's like sometimes we also want to try something a little different.
Yeah.
Right. So if we've done a romantic comedy, maybe we do something a little bit more on the suspense. Or if we do a drama, maybe we do paranormal. Maybe we do, at some point we'll do Regency. That'll be really great.
That'll be fun.
But we're trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, we have Black Dagger Brotherhood now. That's very action, paranormal. It's fantastic series. Then we'll have Beauty from Pain.
Yeah.
and then Royally Screwed. And so it's just slightly different for each one. And then next year we'll let you know what our next year plan is.
Yeah.
We are the one-stop shop for romance adaptations.
Yes.
We are the best at it, in my opinion. I think that the reason being is because we truly are fans.
Yeah.
We love our authors, and we want these books adapted the way that the author truly sees this done. And I think that we go to great effort to make that happen.
Yeah.
And it's actually really enjoyable because as a fan of the books and a fan of the authors, we then get to spend all this time with the author, really getting into their minds, really trying to understand how they want their book made.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned last week how fun it is to chat with Georgia Cates.
Yes.
I mean, it was. Of course, I love chatting with J.R. Ward as well. It's just highly enthusiastic. But recently, Georgia Cates just like so much fun, and you can picture her walking around answering my messages and stuff. So it's really great that we get to spend time with them. And again, we're the one-stop shop for romance book adaptations, and it's because we love it.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. We're fans, so we cater to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about Passion Flicks that sets us apart from other studios who might be doing romance novel adaptations is that we try to stick to the book as close as possible. Obviously, some things need to be adapted because it's a different medium. It's film versus on the page, but we still try to keep all those fun little details in there that people love, like the chocolate cake from Gabriel's Inferno.
Oh my God.
And we don't change the ending.
And we never
change
the ending.
Worst.
Yeah, that is the worst when they do that. And
can't.
yeah, oh my gosh. We never change the ending, and yeah, we try to keep all those details that people love in there. And that is a great lead in to me asking another thing you can leave in our either info email or the phone number is you can call in and suggest romances that you think we should
please
read.
do.
Yeah.
We love it.
Allie will sometimes post on social different like, hey, what are you reading right now? And we look at every comment. But so like, please just feel free to constantly bombard us with recommendations and I'll add them to the list.
Yeah. We have a great TBR list.
Yes, we do. And Tosca, is there anything specific that you think has to be in a book to make it a hot movie?
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the chemistry.
Agreed.
So if there's incredible chemistry between the two main characters, then that's all we need to make it hot.
Yeah.
So then it comes down to us making sure that we cast actors that can portray that kind of chemistry. And that's really important. And then, just make them do that.
Yeah. Completely agree. So, and speaking, I love that she asked about what we do to pick a book, but speaking of books, I'm curious to know what each of your either favorite romance novel of all time is or a book you've really loved.
Favorite romance novel of all time?
Yep.
I'm going to have to go with Pride and Prejudice because otherwise, there are too many
Other good
new ones, So I'm going with anything Jane Austen, but probably Pride and Prejudice.
That's valid.
Oh man, it's hard.
Favorite romance novel of all
I
time.
know.
I know, sorry.
I know.
Pride and Prejudice is on my list. I also love Persuasion.
Yeah, so good. Oh my gosh.
Jane Austen's a legend.
I do. I'm going to give credit to 50 Shades because I feel like
Yes.
that really
Love
got
50
me
Shades.
back
50 Shades.
into reading and got me into the genre.
Yeah.
So
love
I'm
that.
gonna do that.
I do love 50 Shades. I will always go back to 50 Shades.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
It's a
Comfort
it's
book.
It is a comfort book.
book.
It's a full-on reread, like anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love E.L. James. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She is.
My favorite, now I have to answer this too. My favorite romance novel, yes, I love anything Jane Austen, but there's one historical romance that I have read, I think 8 to 10 times. Like I just keep rereading it because I love it. And it's actually, it's like a 12 book series that this author has written and it's book number 7 or 8, but you can read it as a standalone. And I happened upon it as a standalone, but it's, I think it started with Scandal, by Julianne Long.
Oh.
It's great. It's a single mom who has a young son, and she ends up being hired as the housekeeper for this dethroned prince of France who's living in the English countryside, and and he's also really hurt from getting injured, and she helps heal him. Like, it's just, there's multiple layers.
Maybe we make this as our first one.
I would love to. I love Julianne Long. She's great. And it's the whole, it's a 12-book series. It's the Pennyroyal Green series. So good. If you haven't read it, please go check it out.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite parts of romance in general is that it's always strong female characters.
Yeah.
But something that I love, especially about historical romance, is that, especially for the time period, it's still strong female characters, and they're not just always debutantes or what have you. They sometimes, I read a book recently that they're spies and they're trying to help take Scotland back from the English. Yeah. So it's, like there's different time periods that people can place these books in, and I kind of love it. So.
I think that's probably why we also love Jane Austen so much. Very
ton.
strong female characters.
She started
especially for the time. Yeah.
Yes. No, she was an author who in the moment was writing strong female characters in a time when they weren't.
Yeah.
Regency, we really should make Regency one, and if it's contained enough, we have a great team in England to work with.
That's true.
And so, I would love to make something like that. That sounds really great.
Then I'll get working on that.
All right.
Yay.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. We will do a Regency romance. But there's also some great historical romance that takes place in the U.S. as well.
Great.
Like Beverly Jenkins has written a lot from all over the U.S. is where she bases her characters. So I'd be down to work on any of her books as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That was my little fun question that I threw in at the end, because I'm always curious, and I don't know if we always talk about it, like what books we've read that we really adored from whatever time in our lives. Like I stumbled into romance in a really silly way. I'm reminded of it because I rewatched one of our PassionPod episodes lately where I talked about it. But a friend of mine had suggested a book called To Catch a Pirate, and it was a romance, and I had no idea. And I started reading it, and suddenly I'm like, oh, there's like intimate scenes in this. And I'm 17, and it was my first time kind of reading it in more. Like I'd read a few Stephen King books where things like that happens, but that was my first foray into full-on romance. And by the end of the book, I was like, this is the sweetest thing I've ever, this is amazing. What is this? And that's how I dove like straight into Regency romance. That was all I read from the beginning. So I'm always curious how people get started on romance.
I got started on Harlequin novels.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Also around the age of 16, 17.
I mean, because you were in Canada by then, right?
I was in Canada, and every time I would have to go on the subway.
Nice.
And they had all those little stores in the subway. And so I would just go in, grab a Harlequin novel, and then I would read them on the train.
Oh, I love that. That's so classic.
Yeah.
How about, and Allie, you said you got started with 50 Shades.
I mean, I've always been a reader, but up until that point, it mainly been suspense thrillers. And then obviously I read Twilight and all of that.
Oh, yeah, I love Twilight.
But yeah, 50 Shades was really where I got hooked and started reading constantly.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. See, everybody has their own way that they got into romance.
Yeah.
Hi, Molly.
Let us know how you got into romance.
Yes.
If you have any ideas or if you have anything to share with us, please let us know.
Yeah, I love hearing people's stories on how they got into romance. It's really fun. Well, thank you guys. I think that's all we had for today.
Yeah.
And I'll reiterate one more time. That call-in number is 770-648-3677. We also have our info at passionflix.com email. I check that daily. So if you email just make the subject PassionPod, and we'll be sure to feature it on the show. And thanks. This was a really fun episode.
This was really fun.
And don't forget to send in some fan art, because we will feature that on the next fan episode as well.
Great.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.